6 o'clock. I'd like to open up the public hearing in accordance with RSA 198:20-C. We're holding a public hearing at the Conval School Board for the purpose of expending funds up to $500,000 from the Conval Health and Maintenance Capital Reserve Fund for the 24-25 fiscal year. If there's any questions in the public.
Well, why don't we have Brian just for a second?
Sure. Brian?
During the budget process for this current fiscal year for FY25, the board had decided during the budget process to offset our increase in health insurance costs by using $500,000 from the Conval Health Maintenance Capital Reserve Fund in order to offset that expense, which is why we're having this hearing today. So we'll basically put this into the pot for this year, put it towards health insurance expenses to offset the very large increase we had this year.
Not seeing any questions in the public or any board members who have any questions we can answer. All right, we'll leave this open for 30 minutes. And at the end of 30 minutes, we'll come back and close the public hearing. At this point, I would like to open up the school board meeting. Would you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Before we continue with the board meeting, I'd like to take a moment of silence in remembrance of a young Conval student who was tragically killed this weekend. So if we could just take a moment and think positive thoughts for the family, not only for the young man, but for the driver in the other vehicle, who I'm sure is feeling the same horrendous loss in life. So if we could take a few moments, please. Thank you all. Just a reflection for a moment, if I might, on the value of life every day. I learned a wonderful lesson when I was in Vietnam, when I was wounded, and I didn't think I was going to get home. And I was often asked, what did you think about? And my only thoughts were, I never told the people around me I love them enough. So my advice to all of you, every day, those around you, express your love for them, because you never know when it'll be the last time you can say, I love you. So I pass that on to all of you listening. I pass it on to hundreds of students when I talk about the experience of a veteran. So, so tonight, when you go home, express that. And then they'll say, so what did you do wrong tonight? You're telling me you love me today? I mean, it's always it's an interesting experience. All right, without further ado, approval of manifest, please.
Certified the manifest listed below totaling $4,562,669.50 have been reviewed by me and found to be proper charges against the Catuca Valley School District for goods and or services received and have been properly processed prior to their submittal to the school board.
Can I have a motion to approve it? Second? It's moved and seconded. Any questions? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Abstentions. Thank you. At this point in our agenda, it's for public comment. If there's anyone in the public that would like to speak to the board, please come forward. There's a mic, and just push the mic down, and the board recognizes Myron Steer, a previous board chair. Welcome, Myron.
Thank you, Dick. Mr. Chairman, Mr. Vice Chairman, members of the board, My name is Myron Steer. I live in Peterborough and served on the board for a number of years until I moved from Greenfield to Peterborough, and then Catherine Hick took my place. And I'd like to speak to the board in the context of thanking them for their efforts to provide better opportunities, educational opportunities for all the kids in the district, and their efforts to do so, and hopefully they will continue to look into this. Secondly, I'd like to speak to the superintendent leaving and the fact that she's given 16 plus years to the district, and wish her well and thank her for her work in the district. If there are any questions, I'd be glad to answer them. Thank you.
Myron. Good to see you. Reports, feasibility committee. Mike. Thank you, Mike. I see we have a couple of young men in the back, and I'm assuming that maybe you'd like to speak to the board. Am I correct? Please come forward. Give us your name and the town you're from. And the mic, you just push down the lever, should be a little green light that comes on.
Jack Harris, Hancock.
Kendrick Edwards, Francistown.
So we're two of the members of Conval's 4x1 team. The other two unfortunately couldn't make it, but we just wanted to thank the board for providing funding for our trip. It was an incredible opportunity, and we wouldn't have been able to go without your support. And we also wanted to specifically thank Ms. McKillop and Mr. Proctor for all the legwork they did with booking our Airbnbs, our flights, and our rental car. They were also a huge part of why we were able to go, and we wanted them to be recognized.
So one thing that Mr. Proctor wanted us to do is to put our baton in the trophy case. So what we have here is the baton we received from Hayward Field when we went there to run. So we're going to be signing this and putting this in the trophy case, as well as this picture of us at Hayward Field that we're also going to be putting in there.
Thank you, guys. I know we're all grateful for your participation, and there's nothing that's nicer than to have people come back and thank you for giving them an opportunity. So we greatly appreciate that, and I'm sure there'll be no problem getting that in the trophy case. And we'd like to give you a round of applause for what you did. Thank you. If you were to pick out one thing, each of you, one thing that you remember from your trip that was most memorable to you.
For me, so we checked in, and then they brought us down underneath the stadium, and then we walked out under the through a tunnel into the field, and that's the part that I keep thinking about whenever I think about it.
Definitely stepping into the field and seeing the crowd and the massive stadium. It's not comparable to Conval. So, it's an unreal feeling.
Those are great opportunities. I'm so happy you guys were able to do it, and send our blessings to you, the members of your team too, and we're very proud of what you did for us all
Thank
in
you.
the Conval District. Thank you both for coming.
Thank you.
That was really
Yeah.
cool. I was watching it. It happened over like a bunch of days, and we actually watched it together one of the days. And we were like, "Wow, we just ran there like last week." So
Yeah. Thank you.
thanks again.
Guys. Consent agenda. Any questions for board members on the consent agenda? Janine?
Question on the enrollment update. Projected to, like, the 23-24 goes from 22-23 to 24-25. And is 24-25 the projected enrollment?
That's what is projected right now. I don't know what happened to the 23-24. My guess is it fell off the Excel spreadsheet, but I'll find out.
Do you remember what it was?
Not off the top of my head, I'm sorry. Whoa, wait a second, hold on. I might be able to tell you. No. It's wrong. Okay.
Jim?
Yeah, don't know if it's readily available, and I certainly don't need it tonight. But is the breakdown of the number of students in the middle schools and high schools by town available?
That is available, you just want to work.
Sure,
Happy to work.
be happy to do that. Yep.
Any other questions? All right, thank you. Superintendent's report, personnel, do you want to do anything on nominations or anything?
So I just want to draw your attention to Tamia O'Connor. She's in the back. She will be the new principal at Peterborough Elementary School. She is coming to us from Great Brook Middle School, where she has been the assistant principal for the last year. So we're just thrilled to have her take that challenge on. So, besides that,
Welcome on board, Tim.
For today, it is, so we are, subcommittee meeting, third, fifth, and then we're in August, and the subcommittee will go back to the
Correct?
okay, so we'll have a school board meeting on the 6th, starting at 7, and a school board meeting on the 20th, starting at 7 p.m. As well as those 2 feasibility study are in there as well. So that is the calendar. Just letting you know, we do have 2, actually, one has 3 parts. So outstanding requests, board requests, and we are working on them. We are just a little short-handed right now, trying to do a lot more than we have room for.
So subcommittees, if you would get to Brenda with your dates and times, they should stay to what we've done in the past. If you have any questions, please just give Brenda a ring and she'll can verify your dates and times. Okay.
ready to set the Oh, did you tell them?
No, but I set, by August 6th, I expect. We'll have to accept this is for the, we want to be early.
Okay. Okay, why don't you let me know when you get it, if you're expecting it on still.
Seventh is a Wednesday.
So meet on the 6th, board meeting?
The 7th is a Wednesday.
Yeah. Before the board meeting.
6 PM? Does that work for you? Janine? 6? Okay, 6 PM.
Okay. Anything else? You all set with that?
You good?
Okay. Old business, communication committee discussion. We spoke about reinstituting the communication subcommittee. That will come back in as an ad hoc because it hasn't been a standard one, which just simply means that come March, you have to say, yep, we want to continue with the communication committee. That's the only difference between standard committee and ad hoc committee. So, Ellen?
Okay, I put in your packets what I'm gonna speak about, and it's gonna make it probably a lot easier than just listening to me. So, I'd like to make a motion that the board reconsider their vote to dissolve the Communications Committee and vote to reestablish it as an active committee. And what I've done is I've listed a lot of the
Could I
accomplishments.
have a second? Is that your motion? Could I have a second? Second? Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
And I've listed a lot of the accomplishments of the Communication Committee. On the forums, we started in September 2021. We had 6 successful ones from non-consolidation, and we held it in the Lucy Hurlin Theater in the high school and online, fully attended in person and online, and a variety of topics and participants from the board, administration, and staff. And non-forum communications, information to communities on important activities and things happening at Conval, at least 10 separate communications, process agreed upon by the superintendent, by superintendent members and outside consulting communications firm. Lots accomplished successfully, great teamwork, community appreciated all the information we gave them. On consolidation, events and activities communicated, worked with SOC, the outside communication firm, internal folks, and Prismatic. Held community forums for consolidation only. Many communications sent out on direction, activities, and scheduling. Consolidation took over activities of the communication committee's time. Schedule and held surveys, individual town meetings, forums, focus groups, and community-involved staff. Communications committee, school board, community folks, and administration. And the importance of the communication committee. Community wants and needs communications. That we know. The community needs to know what the board is doing and not rely on less than a handful of community folks who attend meetings to give only their own opinion. Communication is a need of, and serves the community. It is a board responsibility to provide and need and had good and committed members from the board and works well in concert with others and outside communication firms. Just a recap of what the communication committee did. Questions? I'm sorry?
How much autonomy with the committee? In other words, you can put together a communication and
Yeah.
put that out without board approval?
No, we put everything out with board approval. That's the way the committees work. We don't put anything public.
Any other questions from board members? All right, well, I'd like to take a vote. All those in favor of reinstituting the communication committee, please indicate by raising your hand. 1, 2, 3. Okay, opposed? All right, it looks like it will pass. Thank you, Alan. So, Alan, would you, if you're interested in serving on the committee, would you please email me, let me know you are. I'll take those names and I'll have Alan meet with Brenda to set a date
Yep.
And then I will notify people that'll be on the committee. So if you're interested, just give me a quick email, let me know. And I'll try to honor all the requests if we can keep the numbers reasonable. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a request to accept a donation from for the food pantry. South Meadows School Food Pantry Community Needs Request authorized to accept $3,000 from the Renewed Church of Hancock for the purpose of providing community assistance to help district families in need. Could I have a motion to accept that? Good. It's been moved and seconded. Any questions? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Abstentions. Thank you. What a wonderful gift. We will. I would assume that Tim will probably send off a thank you. Great. Thank you. Where are we on the public hearing? We got 30 minutes in.
9 minutes and 25 seconds.
Okay. Expenditure, expenses, and encumbrance report. Brian.
You will see the detailed and general expense and encumbrance report in your packet. This is the one for June. This is not the final numbers. Those numbers usually come after the auditors come in. Auditors are scheduled to be in 2 weeks, but this number is pretty close. So we are looking at, the next topic is, we'll discuss what the final numbers are, but I ask that you approve these and all encumbrances there.
Could I have a motion to approve the report? Could I have it's moving second? Any questions? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Abstentions. Okay, thank you. Fund balance.
You'll see another sheet in there showing a estimated breakdown of the fund balance. Actually, there's a few sheets in there. One of them is what the state gives me. We worked, business administrators with the state, work with the Department of Education to give everyone a form to actually tell you what your real number is that you can actually withhold. Now, by law, we can do 5. By policy, we do 2.5. So I did a separate sheet that shows how much we can retain this year by law and how much we can retain per policy. Our estimated fund balance, as you saw from the report before, is approximately $2 million. That'll fluctuate a little bit when the auditors come in. We had retained funds of just over $1 million that will go into the pot as well. So we have a total of about $3 million. From that number comes the $1.2 million that came off the ballot. So they'll fund, all those will be funded first. You did already promise the taxpayers you'd be returning $500,000. You can still do that with a little bit left over. And then that leaves you with about $1.3 million. What you do with that obviously is up to the board. If I was to recommend something, I would probably recommend withhold as much as you retain as much as you can. The reason being is this budget coming up is extremely tight, tighter than the one that just ended. And you also have a teacher's contract coming that this may be able to help next year to offset that when the tax rates hit in the fall. If you do hold your max amount, when you decide to do so, and you don't need to do so probably at least a month, you'll still be left over with about, before adjustments, about $700,000 to get back to the taxpayers. So, no, 700,000 total to go back to the taxpayers if you withhold the 2.5%, and you're giving the 1.2 to the capital reserve funds that you had on the ballot. So, this is more informational. Obviously, you're not going to make a decision tonight. I don't need a decision tonight. But before the DOE 25 is solidified, that decision will need to be made.
That will be again on the board agenda for the second meeting in August, the 20th.
Any questions from board members? Any other questions? All right, come up in the future board meeting. This is the second part of the agenda where we're open for public comment. Is anyone in the public that would like to speak to the board? Okay. We do,
Still need to do student handbooks.
oh yes, did I miss that?
So you have-
Oh, yeah, that's why. Okay. Student handbooks, yeah. Any questions? We have to approve it, but does any board member have questions about student handbooks? Alan, then we'll come around.
I'd like to know why the dress code is different in different elementary schools and also in the middle schools. As reference to the hats and things like that, when in the high school, we only have one high school, so the dress code is one thing. I'd like to know why this is happening.
Superintendent?
So you should be presenting one handbook at a time because they have the same, they carry the same weight as policy. So you want to make sure, like, you may need to ask the question a couple of different times, but you want to approve them one at a time because we use the minutes. So I just want to make sure you guys understand that.
That,
So,
that doesn't deal with the question.
I wasn't answering the question.
Mike?
No, they don't. No, the middle schools don't have the same dress codes.
So let's go through handbooks one at a time, and we'll go to the high school first. Any questions on the high school handbook so we can have approval? Jim?
That's a great question. It is the current policy, and so I connected with the district lawyer who is recommending that we pull that policy out for right now and put in a note saying that the current policy is being updated due to changes in the federal regulations, and that a policy will be in effect by the end, before, not by the end, before the school year starts, and then actually put a link, the link that will bring them to the page on our website where we will put the Title IX policy. That is not the way that, so that is one change that would need to happen.
So to approve it tonight, we need to say that that change is going to take place. Is that what we're saying here? I know we are, but is that the plan to do that? All right.
Each of them.
All right. So any other questions on the high school student handbook? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor of approving indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Abstentions. Okay. SMS handbook. Any questions on the SMS handbook, given that the Title IX will be changed in all handbooks? Any questions? Seeing none, could I have a motion to approve the South Meadow School handbook? Second? Can I have a second? Okay, moved and seconded. Any questions? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Abstentions. Okay. GBS, middle school, Raybrook Middle School. Any questions on the handbook? All right, so my question, have we clarified the hat rule?
Sorry?
Hold on, that's what, actually what we're looking
Okay.
at, the dress code piece.
Before we vote on it, because I know that SMS has a no hat rule. I also believe that Great Brook had a no hat rule too.
No, that's not the one I read.
Yeah, I know, that's what I'm saying. That's the confusion.
No, it doesn't say anything about hats in the,
Yeah, headgear.
great,
Yes, it does.
great,
Yeah, it says headgear, including hats, hoodies, and/or caps are not allowed unless permitted for religious, medical, or other reasons by school administration. The,
is that great books?
yes,
This is great, books.
we need to close them.
Yep, okay. So we'll just take a vote on this. All right, any other questions on the Great Brook handbook? All right, could I have a motion to accept the handbook as presented? Second? Been moved and seconded. Although, any questions? Seeing none, all those in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Abstentions. All right, we're going to close the public hearing.
We need to take a vote on whether to do this.
All right, could I have a motion to accept the expenditure of funds up to $500,000 from the Conval Health and Maintenance Capital Reserve Fund? Could I have a second? Moved and seconded. Any questions? All right, seeing none, all those in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Abstentions. Very good. Okay. Peterborough Elementary School Student Handbook. Can I have a motion to accept it? Can I have a second? It's been moved and seconded. Any questions? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Abstentions. Okay. AES, Antrim Elementary School. Can I have a motion to approve their handbook? Second? Been moved and seconded. Any questions? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Abstentions. Pierce School, Bennington Elementary School. Could I have a motion to accept their handbook? Could I have a second? Moved and seconded. Any questions? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Nay? Abstentions. Thank you. Dublin Consolidated School, motion to accept their handbook. Second? It's been moved and seconded. Any questions on the Dublin Consolidated Student Handbook? Seeing none, all those that are in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Abstentions. Francistown Elementary School Handbook. Could I have a motion? Could I have a second? Been moved and seconded. Any questions? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Abstentions. Thank you. Greenfield Elementary School. Could I have a motion to accept their handbook? Second? Been moved and seconded. Any questions? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Abstentions. Temple Elementary School. Could I have a motion to accept their handbook? Second? Been moved and seconded. Any questions? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Abstentions. Hancock Elementary School Handbook. Could I have a motion to accept their handbook? Second? It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Abstentions. Thank you. We got through them all. Now, I'm sorry, Janine.
It's on, it'll be on the next agenda. It was in, but it's not.
Okay. High school math critical shortage area. Superintendent.
So, as you know, we have had challenges around hiring math teachers. Those challenges continue. At this point, I would like to be able to offer, per the contract, additional dollars to applicants. In order to do that, it needs to be considered a critical shortage area. So I'm asking the board to deem that critical high school math be deemed a critical shortage area.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Questions?
How many?
Jim?
Well, if you deem it a critical shortage, once we give the dollars to one individual per the contract, all high school math teachers would receive those dollars. It's $3,000 to $5,000 a teacher. There are, Heather, did you want to say something? Go ahead.
So I don't know if people could hear you on the mic. So we have, go ahead, Heather. How many math positions?
We currently have 5 math teachers full-time slated to return, and we have 3 openings.
Any other questions from board members? Jim?
So that's, if we do that and it's $40,000, where does that come from? Right, that's the question
We work it in salary. So it could come from because it's a critical needs area, you could say it was an emergency and use fund balance. You could wait until you know what the delta is in hiring, if there's going to be a delta. So you would have to look to your other lines. So as of right now, no, I won't be able to tell you where the money's coming from. What I will be able to tell you is we have no applicants for math.
So as we had said before we would bring a new position on board, we would ask the administration to tell us where the funds are coming from, and we'll continue to do that. So
But it's not a new.
it's not a new position, but we also need to ask about where the funds come from. I think that was a pretty good agreement that we came to on anything. Where are we going to find the funds? And I think it's a reasonable request. Mike?
I think being a former math teacher, that the critical shortage is very important. But I also think that we really need to look at books or changes that have been in the past few years. Saying that every student is going to pass algebra 1. It's causing a lot of problems.
Superintendent?
So it's generally accepted across education today that every student should take and pass a formal algebra class before they graduate high school. And I recognize that that is not a popular thing, but it is considered a necessity for any job that you take in this day and age. So, that was a decision that the board made based on what students need to know and be able to do when they graduate. And the only way that we were waiving that was if it was written into a student's IEP.
Students
Before they graduate. I'm not saying that it is an easy thing to do. What I am saying is that taking algebra by the time you graduate high school is an essential skill in order to be successful and in the workplace, whether you are in manufacturing, whether you are at Dunkin' Donuts, or whether you are taking and going on to college. It is imperative that students leave school understanding algebra. And I, again, recognize that that is not a popular item, and it is not popular with the present math department. However, it is considered across education today to be essential. I'm not going to be here, but
Any other questions? All right, so we have a motion before us to consider the high school math vacancies a critical shortage area. Any other questions on bringing that forward? All right, if I could have that as a motion, please. Could I have a second? Any further questions? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Abstentions, okay. Now the public comment, and I had a different agenda in front of me before, I apologize. Not seeing any public comment. We do need to go into non-public for negotiations, personnel, student and legal.
Nope.
Just,
Just personnel and legal, I think, right?
yeah,
Personnel. and legal.
personnel, okay. Under RSA 91-A:3, comma, Roman number 2, I'd like to have a motion to go into non-public. Second? It's been moved and seconded. Dick?